Hi, you're live with Jasmine Fannings.
And Kamiya&Jazmyne.
And we're reporting live from HRTW.
That is, Historians Rule the World.
Of course. Today we'll be reporting on the causes of the Civil War.
Or what are believed to be the causes, but we all know that the real cause of the Civil War is the Kansas-Nebraska Act. Am I right?
Correct. So, we will be giving you 7 different instances of what people think the causes of the Civil War are.
Tune in. Northern Whigs did not support the Mexican-American War. They believed that the president at the time, James Polk, had unconstitutional methods. They also believed that the South was motivated to expand slavery. They went as far as calling this war Polk's War.
Talking about, bro, like,
you don't know what you. Okay, so first of all, the publication of Uncle Tom's Cabin was the cause of the Civil War. We can't be reporting like fake news to our. It's fake news. Fake news to our viewers. Like, we care about them more than that. So first of all, Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote this book. She's an abolitionist based off of real slave accounts. She made them into short stories, and it has such a huge impact on the entire Union. It divided the North and the South even more because this was the first time that the North could really see how dehumanizing and brutal slavery was. And the South, don't even get me started on the South. First of all, the South banned the book because they thought it was so inaccurate and exaggerated. They banned it, and then this caused so much tension between the North and the South. So how could that not be the cause of the Civil War? Like,
okay, but the causes of tension between the North and the South were already very relevant and evident before this. The Fugitive Slave Law, a part of the Compromise of 1850, which is really what set off the Civil War, if we want to be honest here and support our viewers and their trueness. All right, so the Fugitive Slave Law really upset the Northerners because they said it was an unjust full law, which was very true because the slave law, they took away, recaptured slaves, they took free black men from their homes, women, children, from their home in order for them to be considered property for the slave owners. Like,
I guess.
Whatever. It's true.
Once again, we can't be reporting fake news. Like, there's way more important things to focus on. For example, Dred Scott decision. Dred Scott was a slave to John Emerson, and they had lived in Missouri, but then for a long period of time, John Emerson moved his slave, Dred Scott, also his wife, to free states above the Missouri Compromise line, and he even had a daughter who was born in free territory. So after they lived in this free territory for a long time, Dred Scott wants to be a free man. That's reasonable, right? So take it to court. Take it to court many times and keep winning. Up until, took 11 years, but they got there to Supreme Court. And you know what happened? Chief Justice Roger B. Taney, he said, John Emerson, this is your property. He said Dred Scott is his property, so he can move him wherever he wants. That violates the Missouri Compromise of 1820. Like, that's going to cause uproar. First of all, so also he said that since Dred Scott was an African American, he's not even a citizen. He can't sue. So what is he supposed to do? He gets no freedom, no rights, and humiliation. So, that's going to cause uproar, especially with the Northerners. And then the Southerners always want to, talk, but it's just going to cause tension. So how could that not be the cause of the Civil War?
Okay, you bringing up this one event that included only one man, it's just like me bringing up John Brown's raid, a crazy abolitionist who brought up the brand idea to go arm slaves in an organized rebellion to just fight back for their freedom. Obviously, that failed, just like Dred Scott's decision failed. We all knew that slaves were considered property, like we knew that already. So him going to court just for him to, get that full definition was truly, it was just unnecessary. And then John Brown, oh my God, his sons died in the movement for him to go and, upbring the slaves to freedom. Obviously, it's some failed attempts. So you bringing up this one man's decision is just like me bringing up John Brown's raid. They're both failed attempts, and it's only including one man. What's
I
the
mean,
significance?
I understand how John Brown's raid was significant. You know, it caused the Northerners like a huge reaction to his death, and he was seen as a martyr. I understand that.
Yeah.
But that also raised tension in the South. I understand that because they were reacting to how devastated the Northerners were about his death.
Right.
But to defeat the Black Republicans, the Democrats chose Stephen Douglas as a candidate, even though the Southern Democrats saw him as a traitor because, you know, he introduced popular sovereignty, which means that the states have the right to choose whether or not they want slavery. And I mean, why would you choose slavery? So, at a separate convention, you know, the North chose Stephen Douglas. At a separate convention, the Southern Democrats, they chose John C. Breckinridge. And the Republicans saw like their divide as a chance to win, you know, cut through. So they saw that as a chance to win. So Abraham Lincoln, you know, he's the perfect candidate. So then, you know, the last candidate for this election was John Bell, and he was nominated by the Constitutional Union Party. But we all know he's not going to win because he was neutral. Like, he didn't contribute anything like James Buchanan. And who wants that? So when Abraham Lincoln won, that caused uproar so heavy that South Carolina, we thought it was all talk, all bark, no bite, but they really seceded. So how is that not the cause of the Civil War? Like, it caused so much, it just caused so many problems. Like, they literally seceded from the Union. How does that not cause a Civil War?
Okay, here we go. The causes of the Civil War was already brought up in the Kansas-Nebraska Act. Did you know Kansas didn't get Bleeding Kansas for anything? They got it because it was the first ongoing conflict that really started off the Civil War. It was bloodshed over slavery, the controversy over slavery, which is what the Civil War is about. Kansas-Nebraska Act has so many different components, you know, slavery, free soilers, Democrats, Whigs. The Whigs party was already done by then. It split up the Democratic Party. It was about to, you know, just be devastated. Then here comes the emergence of a new political party. So the Kansas-Nebraska Act was in the middle of a political crisis, a sectional crisis, and then the controversy of slavery just added onto the fire. So once this Kansas-Nebraska Act, Bleeding Kansas, you know, that's just mass killings right there.
They don't call it that for nothing.
Right. Once they called it Bleeding Kansas, that just what set it off really right there. The Civil War. Bleeding Kansas led to the Civil War, the first ongoing conflict, engaging in warfare, battles. So once this Kansas-Nebraska Act, Bleeding Kansas, you know, that's just mass killings right there.
They don't call it that for nothing.
Right. Once they called it Bleeding Kansas, that just what set it off really right there. The Civil War. Bleeding Kansas led to the Civil War, the first ongoing conflict, engaging in warfare, battles, Civil War battles. People that are in the United States fighting head to head over this one controversy. That's
okay. So in order, let's go down the line so we can really get into what caused the Civil War.
Okay.
So, couldn't be the Mexican-American War. No. Couldn't be the Compromise of 1850.
How?
Publication of Uncle Tom's Cabin.
No.
Kansas-Nebraska Act.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay. Dred Scott decision.
No.
John Brown's raid.
No.
Election of 1860.
I don't. It's come close. It comes very close, but it's not the cause.
I gotta record that. And we are back reporting to you live. We had some technical difficulties, some disagreements, but we have finally agreed that the Kansas-Nebraska Act is a true cause of the Civil War. The political effects of the Kansas-Nebraska Act, well, it completely split the Northern Whigs and the Southern Whigs. This just showed how big of a divide there was between each section of the Union. The Kansas-Nebraska Act completely disregarded the Compromise of 1850, and it reopened the divide between the North and the South. Jasmine, back to you.
All right, here we go. All right. The political crisis that occurred during this Kansas-Nebraska Act was between the free soilers and abolitionists of the North and pro-slavery of Missouri, you know, the southern states, Tennessee, South Carolina, all of them pouring into this one state. This way, you know, that way. All of these different ideologies pouring into this one state gave room for, you know, the big conflict that occurred. Bleeding Kansas versus slavery. It's no more evidence to support the cause of the Civil War rather than this one instance. too many political parties, not armies or troops, political parties engaging in warfare. That's how you know this event is so significant to the cause of Civil War.
Another thing to mention, when the Whig Party split, it was done for the Southern Whigs, Democrats, but the Northern Whigs had turned into a whole new party, the Republican Party, which, you know, Abraham Lincoln was a part of, and he won the election of 1860. But for this, Bleeding Kansas is the most significant cause of the Civil War.
Right. Political crisis, sectional crisis. What else?
What more do you want? I mean, it divided everything. So, and that has been Historians Rule the World News Report with Kamiya Dawson and
Jasmine Fanning.
Thank you.